Hello and welcome to Politics Today. I'm Farooq Patafi. Once again we are going to talk about political situation because that is something that keeps changing in Pakistan. Yesterday we discussed the opposition politics. We were talking about government's agenda also, but there wasn't that kind of insight yesterday. So today Prime Minister of Pakistan has launched two poverty alleviation programs. One is called Essas, the other is called Tahaffuz. It is a big one because the first time in the history of the country, the government is pledging 120 billion rupees by year 2020. And that will happen after the government has done few very major important things. One is, when you talk about collecting data, the government is collecting data at this moment regarding people's pay scale, their purchasing capacity as well. The government will be done by December of this year, and then they are going to start planning and executing the entire thing. That is one aspect which is very important. Then there is the matter of amending Article 38D, which is about fundamental rights, basic rights. It includes, they plan to include, house, health, and other aspects as well. So we are going to talk about this aspect as well. And then, if you remember, yesterday we talked about Mian Nawaz Sharif's reprieve for 6 weeks and Bhutto Zardari's train march as well. So we are going to talk about all these matters and more in today's program. In order to help us understand these issues, we are joined by Imtiaz Hussain Vadaisa, political analyst. He is also a legal expert. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Next to him is Naseem Siddiqui Saab, senior journalist. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Next to him is Waqas Salim, political analyst. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program as well. Imtiaz Vadaisa, first of all, I have to ask you, what exactly is Article 38D?
That is actually relevant to the fundamental rights of different type of, which are available to the citizens of Pakistan.
Right.
And by adding these, as you have mentioned in your intro, that will become more comprehensive, I guess.
Right. And how do you add an amendment?
For that amendment, there is need of 2/3 majority.
Where?
In both houses. In both houses. So, without have cooperation of the other parties which are in the parliament, like People's Party and PMLN.
PMLN and People's Party by numbers, in order of numbers.
It's not possible to make any simple majority amendment. If we are going to amend some simple an act for which it is simple majority is required.
Right.
So this is the constitutional amendment, and this is a major amendment.
Right.
I must say.
Naseem Siddiqui Saab, will the opposition cooperate?
At the moment, it doesn't look like that they will cooperate because they want leniency in the punishments they have given. They want relief from the cases.
Asif Ali Zardari Saab is still free. As we speak, even Mian Nawaz Sharif is free. What else do they need for in the shape of concessions?
They just want that they want to get rid of these things. Even if they are free, they are under a lot of mental pressure. As said by Mian Nawaz Sharif lawyer yesterday as well, that he is under a lot of tremendous pressure. And same is with Zardari Saab. So they want some relief from the government.
But it is about amending a law where you are adding basically the promise that People's Party used to make, roti, kapda or makan. So do you think they are not going to cooperate at all?
No, at the moment, no. You can see that Bilawal Bhutto is on a train march these days. And for what cause he is going for a train march? There is nothing against the corruption or something else. They just want to save the corruption of their father, their People's Party.
So no cooperation there?
No cooperation at the moment, because I've been to the assembly in the parliament when there is assembly, and we have seen that they are not going to cooperate.
Waqas, do you share Naseem Siddiqui Saab's pessimism?
No, I am rather optimistic, reason being that opposition have to be positive in the parliament when they will be introducing this amendment. Reason being that this is something that interests the common man, and in fact this is something that interests every person in Pakistan.
Sure.
And this is a scenario, the government has created a scenario where every man will have a broad-based spectrum of the fundamental rights. And this is in fact a step towards a welfare state. If opposition chooses not to cooperate with the government, it will be a political debacle for them, because they will die
How?
their political death. Reason being,
They still are 4 years away from next election. So
Reason
why
being-
would they care?
reason being that now, the situation has changed. Previously, it was the only print media, but now it's the time of electronic media, and it's
And
the
social
time
media.
and it's the time of social media, and the people and the media persons will not let them forget what they have done.
Okay.
Now people have long-lasting memories, and the
Do they?
social media, yeah, people, they keep on reminding what they have said previously. Now, previously it was a newspaper news and it was gone, but now they keep on
Remember,
resounding
Asif
the.
Ali Zardari was accused of many things, right? And then he became president of the country. I mean, you never know what exactly is going to happen
But when
next
Asif
minute.
Ali Zardari became president of the country, the scenario was relatively different. It was after the assassination of Benazir Bhutto that the People's Party managed to come into power, and out of that Zardari became the prime minister. After that, when the circumstances changed, you can see that where the People's Party and Asif Ali Zardari is standing. So
Right.
my point of view is that, and I was previously in one of your programs, I was saying that same thing, that they should table a bill, they should bring a legislation,
And they are
let
going
it,
to bring
let it
something,
be
right?
opposition's turn.
Yeah.
And now they have done the same. And one of the very important thing this time is that they have touched the broad base of your society. They have touched
Right.
every person. They
It
have
is
touched
going to affect
exactly.
many
It
people.
will become, in fact, liability of the opposition, and they have to cooperate.
Wadai Saab, your take, sir? Do you think that opposition is going to cooperate?
Actually, the area which is going to be touched by the government in this amendment, I guess this is relevant to the masses, general masses.
Right.
And very attractive slogan, as you have mentioned, during the era of
Bhutto Saab.
late Bhutto Saab. And I guess that the opposition will not will be in a position to oppose it or confront it.
Okay.
But I guess at the same time, when this will be tabled there, before that, they may have some negotiation, and maybe the opposition will also be interested in the amendment in the NAB laws.
NAB laws.
NAB laws, because
They are going to link amendment to NAB laws with poverty alleviation.
no, that will be actually behind the scene discussions.
But it will
No-
be
no different.
suicidal. I hope you realize that.
No, I realize that, but behind the scene they will try to emphasize. As you know that Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, he is in the train march at this moment, and you know the only objective is to save his father.
Okay.
From the
Really?
I guess.
Yeah, definitely, of
I guess.
course.
He might be saving his party. Who knows?
No. And the second thing you see that, which I am foreseeing that in future, maybe in a couple of days
Sure.
later, as we have seen that Mian Rashid, he has got bail, and the punishment has been suspended for
6 weeks.
6 weeks. And Mia Shabashif, he has also been got a relief in the form of
No,
that.
but the government is going to actually appeal against it.
So that's a different story. But at the same time, I guess that People's Party may use this for Punjabi leadership, they had different treatment, and for us is different treatment. So and
Sindh card again.
And Sindh card
Sindh
again.
card.
This is I'm expecting.
A relief of only 6 weeks, and that is going to be used against this system.
No, because this relief is a very unique example.
No,
In
it
the-
is, and we are going to actually, I'm going to ask you to help me dissect it. I want to understand what exactly went on. But with due respect, even if these two parties try to gain some traction through this kind of negotiation, it is going to backfire. Sir, regarding, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's train march, do you see any impact on the polity?
Not really at the moment. As you said earlier, that People's Party has a slogan of Roti Kapda and Makan,
Right.
and even they couldn't deliver that when their government was in center and they were having government in
Which
center.
government? They had many governments.
No, the Zardari one, yeah, because
Okay.
we are talking
Zardari
about the
was not the prime minister.
latest. He was the president and he was running the government at that
Yeah,
time.
but he was not head of government.
And that time they were having like Yusuf Raza Gilani was the prime minister.
Yeah.
It was from People's Party, and they were having government in Sindh for the last 10 years. It's more than 10 years now.
11
So
now.
they haven't delivered anything. The people coming out for the train march are numbered. There's not big gatherings.
So Bilawal doesn't have the kind of charisma
No,
that,
no, no.
that is needed.
He don't have
Is it
at the
what you're
moment.
saying?
Yeah, but People's Party
Why?
is because people have seen each and everything because
No,
of that.
but Bhutto Sahab had a charisma for his time. Mohtarma had charisma for her time.
And
Who
Zardari has the
says-
charisma of
no,
corruption.
I don't know. Hang on.
Okay.
Hold your horses.
Okay.
Bilawal might have, charisma for his time, which is he's quite young, right? So who knows, how popular he's going to be?
Let's see in the future what happens, but at the moment he is not delivering that much. He don't have that
He's
much
a lawmaker.
charisma.
He's nothing else.
Yeah, because his grandfather was having a lot of charisma. Then his mother was so intelligent and was liked by people of the
intelligent, by the
Pakistan.
way. Bilawal is-
Bilawal is, but at the moment politically he doesn't look matured. So people are not
He
listening
doesn't
to
look
him.
mature, or you don't want to see maturity in him.
No, you can say both ways, but at the moment, People's Party hasn't delivered. So
Yeah.
people are not happy with them. So PTI has promised few things, and it looks like that they will be delivering it very soon. I was with Prime Minister 2 days ago, and I asked him that.
Yeah, I saw you sitting there.
Yeah, I asked him that it's very good that impression of Pakistan has gone very good outside the country internationally. People are coming to Pakistan. They are investing. Investors are coming. But when the promises you have made in the election with the poor people, when they will say that they are getting some relief.
Lo
that-
and behold,
yeah,
he has promised
that's
it
the crux
today.
of the promise.
So you might be actually the person who actually egged on the government to actually deliver on this.
No,
Is
no,
it?
I just
Okay, I'm
asked
just-
being a journalist. So if
I'm
they
just
start
giving you
delivering,
an unfair compliment, but it is a compliment, right?
Thank you very
Let me go to Waqas Saab. Waqas Saab, your take on Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's march and his appeal to the masses.
I guess the Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's march is, in fact, has lost its credibility and has lost its impact because it started after the National Accountability Bureau, in fact, called them for the investigation, and there were certain cases which were, in fact, going on in the courts of Pakistan against his father and
You're talking
his
about the GIT report
GIT
and the
reports
follow-up.
and the cases which are against her father's sister. So I mean,
No, but
under these
if you
circumstances,
have gone through the GIT report, it might implicate Bilawal, but it doesn't actually show you that he is actually the guilty party. His
That-
father, his auntie, they are different story. But when you talk about Bilawal, the only mention I have seen is that he is director of Zardari Group.
but the problem is that I'm not talking about that whether he will be convicted or not, or whether GIT reports implicates Bilawal or not. Since we're talking about the impact of the train march that he is going through at the moment. So if you compare the march that his mother carried out in early 80s, and if you compare the march he is doing, there is a lots and lots of difference, because immediately after the assassination of her father, she returned to Pakistan and
Yeah.
she carried out the march, and they had a different sort of charisma. They had
But that was a different time because
exactly,
Pakistan didn't have any
that's-
political party.
That's what I'm trying to make a point, because that the circumstances of that time when People's Party was doing anti-establishment politics at that time,
Right.
so the story was different. But now, and then the legacy of the Bhuttos is different from the legacy of Zardaris, and unfortunately, Bilawal is mature. But Bilawal has
Unfortunately, he's mature.
no, unfortunately, I mean Bilawal.
just kidding, I know.
Bilawal is mature, but unfortunately, he has become prey to circumstances because
Okay.
he is carrying the legacy of his father, and that is tinted. Unfortunately,
Okay.
the legacy
Right.
of his father, and then this is, if you like look at the kinship terminologies, he's carrying the kind. Politically, they have tried to carry forward the legacies of Bhuttos and Zardaris together. So this is in fact something that is having also a very bad social impact, because
Why?
We are a patrilineal society, we are a patriarchal society.
But
and
you are an academic.
But the
You wouldn't surely you wouldn't actually object to.
No, I'm not objecting, but what
adding mother's name.
But I'm talking about is that since our society is broadly a patrilineal society, so we have to carry the name of our father, and broadly they are trying to drag the legacy of his maternal family along, but it's not working. Bilawal can do wonders. Bilawal can do perfectly all right if he isolates himself. That is in fact very difficult from the legacy of his
Father.
Paternal family. Yeah.
Okay, so should he shed Zardari or Bhutto from his name?
Zardari.
Okay, but you were objecting to Bhutto.
No, I'm not objecting. I'm just saying that if he wants to carry forward the legacy of his maternal family, political legacy of his maternal family, then he himself has to come out of the shadow of his father and his father's sister, because this is
So
how
you agree?
Because they are tainted, they have a tainted past, and people do not actually they do not have a credibility.
Yeah, but
as
the
Bhutto's
problem
had.
is in this country's narratives, especially the Urdu medium narrative that comes from the Urdu medium Sahafat or journalism. Every liberal has a different kind of taint. Bhutto had a different taint. He might not be corrupt, but he was called morally corrupt. Then his daughter, again accused of many things. And now son of that daughter is also being accused of many things. So people who believe in some kind of liberal ethos often say that what is new here? It is the old way. You keep on, branding everybody who says something liberal, that he is anti-state or he anti-Islam or perhaps not a very good Muslim.
But the things are improving at the moment. I mean, if you
and I'm
you
going
can
to
also
come
see
back
the
to you to
evolution of
hear
the
that.
society.
Let me go back to Badai Sahab. You agree with the House that Bilawal Bhutto doesn't have that kind of charm?
No,
Political future.
I have little difference with my colleagues because I guess that he is mature now and he has demonstrated his maturity. And but the only issue he is carrying now, that is the question actually. And you see that strategically they tried to play very wisely, that they have started this march in Sindh area.
Okay.
Because in Sindh
This
rural,
march in March.
in Sindh rural area, where People's Party, no doubt, they have say and they
have roots over there.
They have roots there, and the government is there. They have the facility of facilitation from government
They
side.
can mobilize people.
They can mobilize people. So they wanted to actually, you see, demonstrate the strength of people and who are following them. So they try to play it very smartly. If the march was from Karachi to Peshawar, the situation could be different.
Okay.
And after this episode of, you see, if you allow me a little bit adding that.
I'm not stopping you. I'm silent here.
So if we see that the episode of yesterday,
Yeah.
when both Miyas, they got relief to some extent, Mia Nawaz Sharif Saab and then Mia Shehbaz Sharif also got a relief. Due to that reason, that will have a fallout and that will have damaging to People's Party's move now, because there was possibility of
Them coming together.
Yeah. So no, I don't foresee that there will be possibility of their coming together on the streets, and there is possibility of some collective, you see, agitation against the incumbent government.
And you agree with that, Siddiqui Saab?
Yes, at the moment, yeah, because
They're not going to come together.
not going to come.
Why
together
not?
Because Muslim League is getting relief from the courts at the moment. And
How? I mean, your name being removed from ECL, or you being allowed to get checkup
At
on your
least-
own.
at least
It
one-
might be
one-
unusual, but it is not something which is extraordinary, relief.
But
is
this
it?
thing is giving a very good impact that courts are free at the moment.
No,
You
the
have-
courts are totally free,
Yeah.
and all respect
Yeah.
for them. My humble submission is this concession, if you call it, is a very limited one. So why would Mia Nawaz Sharif or his party or Shehbaz Sharif or his party think that now they are not going to stand with People's Party at all? After 6 weeks, this concession ends. What happens then?
Yeah, let's see if People's Party gets some concession, even though you are saying that it's relief for a shorter time. But you see that this decision has been made out of blues at the moment. There is no precedent before that some criminal has been given that much relief. So they can play a card
A
like
convict.
Yeah, a convict,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So they can say that to your
Criminal has a
and the
different connotation, and he is still
and the
facing
people have
the courts.
started saying that there is different law for the Punjabis and different law for the Sindhis as well.
So it is not Bilawal Bhutto saying, it is Siddiqui Saab saying now, on air.
At the moment, yeah, because I've heard these things from the people I've been talking since yesterday.
Yeah,
that
but
they always say that Nawaz Sharif has got different law. He always
Siddiqui
gets
Saab,
relief
with due
from
respect,
courts.
if a person might have health problem,
Yeah.
and he has some kind of political context as well,
Mm-hmm.
is it that great, that big a deal that you provide him some allowance of time to get checked on his own expense?
But there are too many people, too many prisoners in the jails at the moment. Those who have
Not
got
everybody is
very big. I've seen one person.
Not with due respect,
Professor
not
Sa-
everybody is Mia Nawaz Sharif. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, but convict is convict. Yeah.
That is true. But
Yeah,
there is a
convict is
political
you have
context.
seen-
You agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. But in other countries, you don't see the things like that. They haven't given privileges to prime minister, even if they have
They
convict.
have
They don't.
special prisons for very rich people, and where they can live like they're living on a resort.
But I haven't seen this in
In the
Britain,
US.
at the
In the
yeah.
US.
And you can see that you have seen that professor who died in Services Hospital, Lahore.
That was
He
sad.
was handcuffed.
Yeah.
So he was in a critical condition as well.
Yeah.
Hasn't given the bail, or
No,
he was
that-
not allowed to have treatment
One
in good
thing I'm
hospitals.
very sure about, you and I, the working class people, we cannot enjoy that kind of perks. I understand.
That's the
that.
thing. When I speak to the people, they said that nothing is going to happen. The things will be rolling like the same as it was before, and they were saying that Mia Nawaz Sharif will get the relief, he will get the bail. It's for 6 weeks at the moment, but let's see what happens in the future. At
Right.
least they are getting bails from Islamabad High Court, now from the Supreme Court. So things are
Okay,
getting
just for
better
the sake of
around
clarity,
them.
just for
Yeah.
the sake of clarity, you're a reporter, sir. Tell me, what have you heard about Mia Nawaz Sharif's health? Do you think it is really bad, or is it okay?
I visited him in Kot Lakhpat jail as well.
Right.
I met
When?
him in Adiala 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
He has health issues, no doubt about it, but not that serious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
but not that
What
serious.
is the most serious problem right now? Is it kidney? Is it his diabetes? Is it his heart or something else?
It's his doctors or the medical board can say exactly, because I cannot comment exactly what. But at
You
the
can
moment, the heart problem is severe at the moment, because he has gone through bypass operations before. He has got some stunts as well. So heart problem is major at the moment.
Okay.
So if he get treatment from Sharif Medical City or from some good hospitals, then he can cope in, I think so, in 6 weeks' time, and then we will see what happens.
Waqar Saab, your take, sir.
I guess this is a decision, extraordinary decision in extraordinary circumstances.
Okay.
Because,
You appreciate the context as well, right?
yeah, because you have to, you know, if you want to analyze some development, you have to keep in view the ground realities, keeping idealism apart. And unfortunately, in Pakistan, some of the state institutions, especially our criminal justice system, starting from the police and other institutions, they have in fact been unable to establish that sort of credibility. And Pakistan Muslim League was actually trying to play on that discredit of the institutions. So this decision of the Honorable Court has actually, in fact,
Quashed
muted.
that narrative.
Exactly, they have actually muted what they were trying to play foul with the system was.
Right.
And I guess it's a very good decision, because Mia Nawaz Sharif remained 3-time Prime Minister.
Okay.
I mean, he is definitely, everybody is equal in the eyes of law, but he was a Prime Minister, and I guess,
But-
and even he's not allowed to go out of the country.
When you and I study as students of politics, you and I can appreciate that, right? But I am going back to Wadai Saab, and I'm going to ask him to explain what it took legally to make this decision possible. And then you have to tell me, is it very extraordinary? Is it going to be the new normal? Is it going to be something else? But first, Wadai Saab, and then I come back to you. So what exactly, how did he get the relief? What exactly did it take? they had to suspend the sentence, and then under what law was Nawaz Sharif allowed this permission to go out?
Actually, his punishment has been suspended for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And at the same time,
Has it ever happened before?
no, this is first example, and this is new case law, and I guess I'm foreseeing that in future this decision will be taken by other people as well.
Okay.
As an example. So this is a new creation. I guess that this is evolution of law.
Okay.
Especially the law which are being created by judiciary, which we say case laws.
Interpretation, actually, right?
No, this is case laws, this is judgment law, this is precedents. These are the words we use for that. And this is quite unusual. But at the same time...
No, but hang on. I understand Asif Ali Zardari was not a convict at that time. But when his one of the parents died, he was allowed to come out.
That is a sort of parole.
Parole, right.
Parole is the actually authority of the executive.
Okay.
The government can grant parole to any convict.
And this time, government didn't.
Government didn't.
Why not?
Actually, I guess that government did not want to, because at the same time they have started they are carrying out the slogan of accountability. And Mia Saab, because he is convicted in one of the cases, a couple of cases, and in one the punishment is suspended, you know.
Yeah.
So government, I guess, did not want to be back from their,
Didn't want to back off.
back off of their slogan of accountability. So they left to the courts.
Okay.
But what I am foreseeing now, that maybe after 4 weeks time or 5 weeks time, I am also foreseeing an other petition, wherein it will be requested that although we have tried to have him treated here in Pakistan, and we have also invited a doctor from UK, but the facilities, the environment, the apparatus, the hospitals.
How do you see this?
This is my assessment. I have not heard.
No, I didn't know you are an astrologer as well, that you can read the stars and tell us.
But I'm an analyst.
He knows the strategies of the lawyers.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why he can understand.
So I guess
He's telling us about their Dhobi Patka.
I guess that this is the beginning, and after that they will say, okay, we have tried our level best, but it's not possible, and he has to go to UK for further treatment or maybe some type of bypass or some type of
you're saying that he is not ill actually?
No, he is ill.
Okay.
Because
so why would they allow his situation to worsen so that they get his name removed from ECL?
Actually, the main intention for this petition was to go outside Pakistan.
Okay.
Okay. So this was the objective actually.
Not his health.
No, health is there because you see every third person is a patient of heart.
No,
every third person is a patient of
he is diabetic, he has hypertension, depression, then heart problem, then kidney problem. So,
but at the same time, you know that the incumbent government tried to facilitate him.
Okay.
And there were open letters from Prime Minister even and Chief Minister Punjab that wherever he wants to get himself treated, he should be allowed, and they should request us and inform us where they want to get him treated.
So, Waqar Sahab, here are two mysteries. One, creating new precedent. Second, that he could have easily been given a payroll, but it had to come to the courts, who had to create some new precedent to allow him this kind of concession.
I guess giving payroll was very difficult for the government because since the start of its election campaign, before coming to the power, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf was in fact heavily bent on fighting corruption in the country, and Prime Minister even today talked about people bringing out of poverty and fighting the corruption in China.
And everybody is actually with that argument.
Exactly.
But never did the Prime Minister say in his speeches during the campaigns, he was not Prime Minister at that time, that I will see to it that any of them also dies in prison. He didn't say it, right?
Obviously.
So if somebody is really ill, you shouldn't have any problem in getting them treated and then sending them back.
Actually, it was a politics being played by a PMLN. Reason being that government can get them treated anywhere in Pakistan. Pakistan has best facilities for the heart diseases. We
No,
have Armed
I
Forces
get it.
Institute of Cardiology,
And here's the
FIC,
problem.
we have PIC, we have RIC. So we have very good institutes, very good doctors, excellent expertise in heart disease. So heart disease or the kidney disease,
Renal, yeah.
renal problems or the diabetic
They all are
problem
treated
have
very
never been a problem in Pakistan, because Pakistan is way too
No,
ahead
I
when
don't
it comes
have
to
any
the medical
problem in
treatment.
dismissing this claim of his worsening health. The problem is that if you remember his wife, when she was getting treated, everybody kept on saying that she's not being, she's not ill and the hospital is not real hospital. And look what happened later on. So at this moment, perhaps in the Pakistani state also, there's cognizance that it might be something serious, right?
Exactly. That is why they have been silent on all these issues, and they have said that they will not be, in fact, going to court for the, in fact, suspension of the decision or review of the decision what Supreme Court has done. So in this connection, I guess it's very just that they should give a due time to PMLN, and as I have earlier said that they have in fact muted all their politics through this 6 weeks campaign. And if there will be
Yeah, but shouldn't this be done by the executive? Siddiqui sir.
No, the executive was saying that if he has got really health problems, they were ready to get him treated anywhere in Pakistan, in any hospital with all these facilities.
Yeah,
If
but why not Punjab government could easily
Punjab
allow
gov-
him the payroll, right? And he would
payroll
have
is something different, because as when Begum Kulsum Nawaz was died and
Yeah.
her funeral was brought to Pakistan, they were
Yeah.
given payroll. So payroll is something different. If he is in a hospital, he is not like prisoners over there. He has got all the facilities. Yeah? It's not a jail. You can go to the best hospitals in Lahore. You have got National Hospital, Doctors Hospital, Services Hospital, PIC. There are too many big hospitals and too many rich people. They are getting treated over there. They're getting bypass over there. They've been put stunt in their hearts. The kidney treatment is over there. So there are very good hospitals, very good doctors in Pakistan who are treating many people over here. So that's not the issue. Actually, they want some relief. They want. Actually, he wanted to get rid of the jail because he was saying
no,
that
but you were just telling me that he is ill.
he is not that much. As you were comparing it with Begum Sahiba, Begum Sahiba was having something different, cancer, and cancer treatments are definitely far better in West or in America rather than compared to Pakistan.
Okay.
So, but
why would you say that?
Yeah, because
we
we-
have Shaukat Khanum here.
Yeah, but the technology and things are not that better as they are in West. I have seen, but in the end, I have seen patients in London, America. The cancer patients, they die in the end. Most of them,
Right.
even after treatment.
But sir, is it true that since this government came to power for the first time, they have allowed their campaign promises to dictate their actions, and somehow it becomes an obstacle for the government when it has to actually, it needs the wiggle room to actually, offer some concession or seek some concession or bargain something?
No, I don't see, because actually it could be negation of their, you see, their determination against the accountability, because
Humanism is not entire accountability.
No, that's right. But keeping him in jail or keeping in custody, they tried to facilitate him to the maximum extent, I guess.
And they were not satisfied, right?
No, they were not satisfied because actually they did not want to get themselves treated in Pakistan.
But they are grateful now. They keep on saying that they are happy.
No, but what I have told you that this is my assessment, and I hope that it will happen after 4 weeks or 5 weeks. They will go for, permission to go outside Pakistan.
The question is, at this moment when we have a situation when lawmaking is at a standstill, where economic growth is a serious issue and the government is trying to actually bring some kind of solution, at that time maybe they needed some kind of flexibility to work the system. Don't you think they need that flexibility, or they don't?
No, actually, you see, for the sake of legislation, for the sake of national requirement to have an environment, cooperative environment among the political parties which are in the houses. So that there is need, yes, of course, and they should have dialogue on that, but not at the cost, because you see that NAB is an independent and autonomous body,
Yeah.
and they are moving, you see, independently, which is reflecting from their actions, and even they are also taking action against, you see, incumbent government people.
Earlier you said that, when the government offers, requires the legislation or amendment into 38D, then opposition is going to demand some kind of amendment in NAB law. Do you think that NAB law as it stands today needs some kind of correction
Yes,
or not?
yes, of course, because that's, you see, that the land, we have to see that when that was promulgated or that law was formed. That was formed by, initially when it was formed by PMLN, you see, and they created a SA Bureau.
Okay.
And Mr. Saifur Rahman was first chairman of that. So actually,
No, it was not created by PMLN, with due respect. It was created by Farooq Lehari's time. If you remember that caretaker government he formed, at that time Najam Sethi Saab was the Minister of Accountability. That was the time when Accountability Bureau was first created.
Yeah.
Then it was inherited by PMLN
So
and weaponized.
Actually, this was an organization which were being used to, you see, against the opposition people or the people who wanted to be fixed, you see, by the incumbent government at that time. So like we see that there's a remand for 90 days. That is too much, because in general law, in our criminal law, this is maximum 14 days.
Okay.
But they have 90 days, and not only for 90 days. What they do, they strategically they prepare different type of allegations. One allegation 90 days, and then against other allegation further 90 days, and there is no end of you see, and there is also no right of bail.
Okay.
And because this is unlike other laws, because trial courts have always the right of granting bail to the accused people.
Right.
But here you see that the people have to invoke the constitutional jurisdiction under Article 199. They have to go to high courts for the bails. So these are the things. There are some other things as well.
That might actually need some kind of fixing.
Yes, of course.
Siddiqui Saab, do you think that the government will be open to such a negotiation?
Let's see in the future if some amendments are brought to the.
What is your understanding of the government's the thought process right now?
For the changes in NAB laws?
Yeah.
Might be, because they are going under investigation by NAB as well. If there is something serious and something justified, that the laws should be changed. Definitely, government will cooperate with opposition.
I think earlier you mentioned a professor who was tried and who died in custody, and he had the.
Because the PTA government is a prey of NAB as well at the moment, because they have got Aleem Khan arrested in Lahore. Then they have cases like Imran Khan's in Peshawar, then KPK ex-chief minister. So if there are some logical changes, if they want.
I'm not talking about any law that provides relief to any of the people who are being investigated. I'm talking about procedural reforms, because there are procedural problems with the law.
Yeah, definitely. There should be procedural problems, and I think the government will support opposition if some amendments are brought to the assembly in near future, and that will benefit all of the Pakistan. But at the moment, I think that NAB laws should be more stronger, aggressive, because there is a lot of corruption in Pakistan.
Yeah,
It's not hidden.
But here's what happens. It is Nawaz Sharif who got relief.
Yeah.
But Asad Munir Saab, you know what happened to him. It is said that he might have actually committed suicide. It is being heard in a court as well. So there is some procedural problem where a common man might feel slighted and may end up taking his own life.
I have seen Mian Nawaz Sharif going to the court. When he was convicted, he was taken to the prison. And I have seen poor people as well, how they are treated. So all of these elite people, they are treated very well by police, by the lawyers.
So you need some kind of reform to
for
address the
everybody,
common man's problem.
For common man as well.
Yeah.
Common man as well, yeah.
You agree with this?
I guess government at the moment is not in a position to offer any of the olive branch to any political party. Reason being that they have been making all their tall claims against all these political parties, because they have been
Tall claims?
Exactly regarding corruption, and they have been saying that they are the looters and plunderers. So if
Why would you call them tall claims? You were just agreeing with the contents of GIT report.
but the problem is it is a claim. Still, they haven't been convicted. They haven't.
But it is a claim, not a tall one.
But so, I mean, if they have been making a claim again and again, it becomes a tall claim for me.
With your apology, I'll just add one thing, that NAB has done a lot in the past. They have recovered billions of rupees from different people. Just few politicians' cases are coming up, and they are just saying
Yeah,
that.
and that actually shows you something else as well, that those billions of rupees might have been recovered,
Yeah.
but somehow they fell through the broken system again. That's why the country doesn't have money.
Yeah.
And that actually comes to the question, if we are merely going for accountability, Waqas Saab, or we need to fix the system also, because otherwise they recover money from you. Farooq Patafi might steal it further and go away, and then you recover, pursue him and then recover, and then Siddiqui Saab takes it away.
Takes it away.
What exactly is going to happen then?
I guess we at the moment needs to make reforms at the structural level, at the system level, and at the individual level. Because at the individual level, we have to become honest as well. And then let me tell you one thing.
No, but that doesn't need law.
But still, there has to be certain sort of norm or maybe conscience. You need to further invoke your conscience or cement your conscience through other means, or your superego. But the problem,
how do you legislate ego and superego?
But
how do you legislate your conscience?
if you will not be legislating, you can build narrative. You can teach people through different means. I mean, there are certain different things which can be incorporated into the society through the leadership and other mechanisms. But
But we are talking about theft of trillions of rupees.
So since I was talking about that, if there is a NAB who's apprehending a person, and then there is a NAB trial and another is a media trial. So simultaneously there are two types of trials going on, and on media trial there is a frenzy. So all the statements, all the court statements are cut out of the context, and they are pitched against the politicians, and the frenzy is being created. So there has to be a limit on this thing as well, that whenever there are proceedings.
So we agree we need a lot of laws to fix this problem.
Yeah. And we
you
need
have to fix the system, you have to stop people from corruption, and then media from exploiting its freedoms.
And we
And
need
the politicians exploiting as well.
And
Yeah,
we need
exactly.
to.
We have
and-
talked about
and
politicians
We
already.
need to implement those laws as well in letter
No,
and spirit.
but first come up with the law and then agree on it, right? So the government, if it wants to move forward with its agenda of reform, does it need more laws, and does it need any kind of flexibility towards the opposition?
First, I would like to comment on,
We are left with 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So your first point is going to be the only point.
handcuff thing and arrest things.
Okay.
These are totally under the existing law. That is purely discretion of the investigator.
Right.
If he wants to handcuff someone or not.
Okay.
It depends upon him. If there is some type of fear that he will run away, he will handcuff, and otherwise it is no necessity that he should be handcuffed. Number one.
Okay.
Number
A dead body can also
It
run
is-
away.
Run away.
Okay. Okay.
And
I mean,
yes,
come on.
This is first time this is seen on before cameras, because we have seen dead body handcuffed. And the second thing is the arrest. Arrest is also discretionary, I tell you, because the main purpose to arrest is to investigate the things,
Should
to
there be
collect the
this
evidences.
discretion, sir? Should there be this discretion?
Yeah, this is their discretion.
Should
but
it
not
be there?
No, actually, they should not be. They should not be, because
So
in some cases you see that.
You need some kind of change in law.
Yes, of course, of course.
And in order to pass any law in this house, in the lower house and the upper house, you need cooperation of the opposition.
No, they can initially they can resolve this issue through ordinances, no issue,
Okay.
because for 4 months legislation, then one extension, then 8 months.
Ordinances.
And by that time they may have different situation. in the
Yeah, but
country.
ordinances have a different sound to them. Do you think
But
that
that is law.
government needs some kind of cooperation from the opposition, and there should be some flexibility?
Yeah, definitely there should be some flexibility. They should cooperate, but the law should be same for the poor and for the rich. When there is prerogative, or there is, like he was saying, that they have
Discretion.
in discretion of investigator. So discretion is used for rich people.
It can be exploited as well.
It can
We
be
know
exploited.
it, right?
Exactly,
Although we want to believe that every investigator might be, working at the optimum model position,
Yeah.
but still, why give that much power
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then not ask about it?
Definitely.
I'm told that we have to actually conclude the program. Waqar Saab, for your conclusion, we'll have to wait for another program. Thank you very much for your time. Naseem Siddiqui Saab, thank you very much for your time as well. Imtaz Badai Saab, thank you very much, sir, for being here. Viewers, one consensus that emerges from discussion today is without compromising on principles, if there is any range of flexibility, then every partisan at this moment should be showing it, because Pakistan is facing many crises. Economic issues are there, then legislative business is there, then we have very hostile neighborhood right now. So some measure of flexibility might actually enhance everybody's stature rather than bringing it down. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching us. Take care.